Hello and welcome back to the Monster Hunter Generations demo, where today we are going to be using the final weapon, the longsword. Now, this is a weapon I've never felt terribly good with, but I've always kind of wanted to get good with it. And Generations seems like the best time to do so, considering that Aerial and Adept give it a lot of new options. And yeah, that's why I'm saving it for last, I guess, because basically if I don't end up hating it, I plan to use this as my main weapon for this game. So let's see whether or not I end up hating it. I really do like the aesthetics of the weapon. Like, some of them have some really cool sheaths, and the animations for it are pretty neat. We've got stuff like that and like that. Though it is interesting when you put it away, how it goes in upside down. Or that time it didn't. What's the deal? Oh, it's if we're moving while we put it away, we put it in upside down and then it just spins around when it gets stuck to our back. That's kind of silly. Now, I'm aware that its infinite, or rather its bread and butter combo is the X, A, X, X, A, X, repeat forever. Though I've heard you can also do A, X, X, A, X, X, and yeah, that does work. And really the only thing that changes is what you start the combo with, so I guess A is a much quicker opening to it. Now, my biggest issue when playing with longswords before has always been that it's not a terribly fast attacker. Now that's interesting. The running attack is the same as the X attack, so you can actually do two of those in a row. Which is nice because that is, I believe, one of its stronger attacks in the default animations. Could be wrong on that front. Let's wait for this roar to go by. Getting out of the way of that. Just gotta build up that meter. And once it's a flashing, then we can start doing the flashy moves. I like how they actually give you a little line around the blade showing basically precisely where your range limit is. And there might also be some other significance to it that I'm not aware of. But anyway, let's paralyze this thing. Make it super ultra easy to get our spirit combo in. Yep, just mashing that R button. And wha-cha. It's going to take some getting used to doing the combo as it is. Keep wanting to press more X's or more A's. And really, it shouldn't take that much getting used to, because the insect glaive is XXA, and I mean, after the first A, that's what the combo for this weapon becomes. X, X, A, X, X. It's just, to me, it feels like that A attack is too small. It doesn't feel finishy enough, because it's not the finish of, it's not a finish of any sort. Oh yeah, got that yellow. Let's anger this thing. And then get it in this pit. And then we'll see what Sakura Slash does. If my memory serves, Sakura Slash is the one that gives you infinite gauge for a while. Oh, it just straight up levels your meter. That's actually pretty neat. And critical juncture will counter attacks. So I could have used it there, but I was neither in position nor ready for it. And apparently that time I just wasn't in position. That's fine, we'll get to use it before this hunt is done. And if not, we'll get to use it before the next hunt is done. I don't recall whether you gain anything for countering moves, though. I mean, there's of course the counter, which is fairly powerful, but I don't know what else you get. Like, is it the one that gives you infinite meter for a while? We'll have to find out. Let's use Sakura Slash in here. So, okay, Sakura Slash does like little after image slashes after you've gone through, with there being more of them at higher levels, unless I'm thinking of a completely other art. And also, if you hit with any of its slashes, it levels up your meter, which... that's actually really powerful. I have heard that all three of the Longsword's arts are really, really good, which does provide an argument for using Striker, except for the fact that Striker is just not as good as some of the other styles. I was kind of hoping that trap would go down, but whatever. I need to get my meter up, because we are about to drop below red. And while the weapon has been rebuffed since 4U, it's still ideal to not let your meter go below red, like I've just done. But yeah, as you can see, it now does, in fact, drop back to yellow instead of going all the way back to nothing. Yeah, I deserve that. Yo, Narga, get over here. Cats, you too. You're not helping if you're way over there. Yeah, that's right, Narga. Get over here. I hope we've got enough meter for this. Yeah, we should. Just barely. And now we've got our red again, and red is good because it's a huge damage boost. Yeah, I feel like I can actually get used to this weapon. It'll take some time for me to get used to its combos, but yeah, I can manage. I don't hate this. Alrighty. Thanks, cat. I was already free when you smacked me. Need to get that meter filled up again. Yeah, this is definitely workable. I kind of wish I had more high strikes, because that would make it easier to cut more tails. But this can cut tails. It's not like it's going to have any issues doing it. Oh, you jerk. Let's find a time to use Sakura Slash. Like right now. Oh, man. Don't you just love when things like that happen? Freaking broke his eye with it as he was jumping. I need to find a time to use critical juncture. Okay, so it just does damage by the look of it. Because they're... Right, okay. So the art they didn't give us maxes out your spirit gauge for a little while. It doesn't upgrade your level, but it gives you infinite meter to play with for a while. Which does let you do as many spirit combos as you want. Ah, I got to keep the red. I forget how much of a boost the red meter is, or red gauge, rather. I think it's something like 30%. It's pretty huge. I know that much. Oh, you're limping? I'm actually doing fairly well. Most weapons, I feel like it's taken me more than 10 minutes to get to the limp. There have been a few where it hasn't, and this is one of them, which is nice. And looks like they didn't really give us anything special in place of another bomb or something. Of course, I have made use of traps and whatnot. Like, this hasn't been just me using the weapon, as some of these have been. You missed. So I am about to lose my red. That's okay, you're tired, so I'll just do this. Yeah, definitely a weapon I can see myself using. Which is more than I could say in the past. Like, I never really took the time to feel like, or rather, I never felt like I took enough time to get good with this weapon, but yeah. It always felt clunky to me, but I'm not feeling that now. I guess I've improved as a player or something. Also, having just used all of the other weapons, that might also have gotten me more used to some weapons that may not be as long swordy. Or weapons that I personally feel are clunkier. And there we go. Still more than 10 minutes for the quest, but I feel like it was a decent run. Certainly not among my worst, which is a surprise because, again, this is a weapon I've never really bothered to try and get good with. But hey, first time for everything. Plus, when you actually want to get good with something, kind of helps if you actually pay attention to what you can do with it. I did not use any fade slashes. I should really learn to work those into my routine. Like, I used them in the base camp when there's nothing to dodge. But anyway, it's striker time. I have no idea what I lose. But I do know what I gain. Striker, it's easy to tell what you gain. It's art generation and an art. So, my first guess is Fade Slash. Okay, we can still Fade Slash backwards. Seems we might lose a sideways Fade Slash. Yeah, it seems we can only Fade Slash backwards. Still got all of this. Yeah, seems everything else that doesn't use the meter is untouched. So, once we've actually got a Narga to play with, we'll get to see how we do with the meter. Of course, the Narga has left, which doesn't help us. Yeah, 4U definitely did not seem the time to get into Longsword to me, with how going up to the red gauge made it so that once your time was up and you couldn't refresh it. Once your time was up, you went all the way back to nothing. Like, that just seem to me like a punishment. Whereas you want to feel strong. You don't want to feel like you're getting punished for playing the weapon the way it's meant to be. Now, since I didn't do any horizontal fade slashes in the last hunt, I'm probably not going to see many differences. Still need to get used to the combo. But I imagine that for people who actually know what they're doing with a longsword, this would certainly feel different. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, kind of got ourselves whooped there, but seems the combo is all there, so... Yep, we do not get sideways fade slashes. So, yeah, between this hunt and last hunt, you won't see any changes whatsoever. But if I was actually someone who was good with longsword, you would have noticed a change. And I feel like... Well, I mean, that means that for people who aren't using the longsword to its full potential, like me, Striker is just fine and dandy. You just barely caught it with that. I would much rather just barely catch something than not at all. Got some free yellow meter, or rather yellow gauge. The meter is always red, except for when it glows white. But even then, it returns to red. Need to get my terminology straight, though, between gauge and meter. Alright. Need to get myself some red. And I know just how to do it. Here we go. For those who are worried about how Longsword is known for getting in the way of its allies with its spirit combo, you'll be pleased to know that Adept Longsword actually modifies it in such a way that that is no longer nearly as large of a concern. Aerial also modifies it, of course, but not in quite the same way. I do not like bouncing. Couldn't they have given us a blue sharp longsword? Here, have a knife. Get yourself stuck somewhere. I'll take this. Like that I got that second hit on the face. Oh, bye. So you going to 6 or 7? 6. Okay, Narga. Let's piss you off. And then we'll just drop this trap right here. And then we'll hide out on this side of it. Though we need some meter. This was not the best plan. I'm glad it waited until after I was done with that. I was kind of half expecting it to just jump out and completely evade that. Ooh, that felt good. Kind of wish I had the presence of mind to use critical juncture right there. Or right there, really. Let's put this thing away. Where are you going? See, Sakura Slash is one of those arts that I actually really enjoy, because while it doesn't feel like it's got a huge impact, it does have several hits, and also, if any of them hit, it gives you a buff. It actually helps you out, which, you know, that's the kind of thing you want, because basically, if you're using an art, what you want to see is either you get better or the monster flinches. And this way you get one or both every time you land a hit. And that's just, in my opinion, the best way to make an art really feel good. Is to just make sure that every time you land a hit, you see an effect, and it's an effect you want. And this art does that, perhaps better than most others. Okay, so we'll be able to use Narga's time spent eating to get ourselves a free refresh of our red. Though it looks like at this point it might be a reapply. Yeah, a reapply. Oh, forgot it puts your weapon away. But I needed the heal anyway, so it's not that bad. Oh, hello. Here, have this. Because I have a cheeky idea. Countered. Would have been better to counter that, of course, but I'll take what I can. Sakura Slash almost ready, just gotta give it a poke. And here we go. And that is one limping Narga. Yeah, the presence of Sakura Slash makes it a whole lot easier to keep yourself in red, which is great, honestly, because I've never really been good at monitoring my gauge, but having a move that I can use and with the first hit of it get myself a level up is really nice. And I don't have to worry about whether or not I've got meter built up. So basically, it's great for those moments when you're about to run out and you really don't want to. And it's great for those moments when you've just got an opening to use it and wouldn't mind a refresh. Like, honestly, it's a really good art. Very well designed, in my opinion. Feels good to use. It's got a powerful effect, and I can't see any situation where I wouldn't want to bring it on a hunt with a longsword. Like, it's just that good. So, yeah, it's a good art. Perhaps one of the best for its weapon. Like, there's other arts that are really good for their weapons, but I don't know of any that match such a fundamental need as Sakura Slash does here. Like, energy charge with the switch axe is really nice, and it makes aerial style so much more fun. And also, when you get it to level 3, it's effectively just a pretty large damage boost, because it gives you 30% affinity just for using it. But it's not like... it's not core to the weapon. Also, good job, Cat. Whereas this affects the weapon's core feature. Like, yeah, you can say the switch axe's core feature is its ability to change into sword mode, but basically, if you're using a power file, you want to be in sword mode whenever you can. And you mostly ignore axe mode. So, energy charge does let you stay in sword mode, but it doesn't feel so good to use, because it's just like, hey, my meter's full again. It doesn't, like, increase your power or any... Well, not directly. Actually, yes, it does. It gives you the affinity, but... It doesn't... Yeah, it's hard to say, but it's... It doesn't give you that nice visual, like, yeah, my attack power went up a level, and now I'm better for having used it. It doesn't feel like it staves off a negative consequence other than having to use Axe for a while, and Axe is still good. Like, you can still reload without using Energy Charge with the press of a single button. Energy Charge just reloads more and gives you the affinity boost. Whereas this, it makes you able to do something you could already do, but you can do it faster. And it's just, it feels good. I like it. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, I don't hate this, so I think I'll be maining it for Monster Hunter Generations. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Join us next time when we use the other two styles of longsword. See you then, friends.